Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some Friday night baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, shortstop stud Bo Bichette. And on the right, center fielder for the Mariners, starting to heat up, Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off for the Blue Jays at shortstop, Bo Bichette. Batting second, playing first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Batting third, playing center field, Dalton Varsho. Batting fourth, DHing for the Blue Jays, George Springer. Batting fifth, playing third base, Addison Barger. Batting sixth, playing second base, Ernie Clement. Batting seventh, playing right field, Nathan Lukes. Batting eighth, catching today for the Blue Jays, Tyler Heineman. And batting ninth, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder, Jonathan Clase. And on the mound for the Blue Jays with a 2-3 record, an ERA of 3.83, Kevin Gausman. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Leody Taveras. Batting eighth, playing second base, Dylan Moore. And batting ninth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And on the mound for the Mariners, La Piedra, 3-2 record, an ERA of 3.29, Luis Castillo. Let's go, baby. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. I'm going to see if I can find another updated photo of Leody there in a Mariner uniform since he's only played one game. I'm not sure if they have anything for me to be able to pull, but I'm going to check here real quick. Get all my screens lighted up here. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. And let's see if I can find one. Let's see if this one will convert. Oh, here we go. I wasn't expecting anything to convert this early, but I would definitely rather have him in a Mariner uniform than the former Ranger uniform. Looks like I did get one to convert. That's awesome. Implement this. Okay, baby. Was not expecting any photos for a few days, but I can definitely swap out this one for the old Ranger photo. He came up big in his first game for Seattle, and that's why he's starting in right field. All right, perfect. So let's delete the Ranger one. We can update this Mariners one with my Mariner file. Boom, put that in there. And I think the only thing else that I wanted to check on is a better photo for Dalton Varsho, which looked a little suspect to me. Let's see what we got here. See if I can find a better one. Is there anything better for Dalton? Here we go. I got a better one. A little swaggier version of Dalton in this one too. All right, this one was a little blurry and out of focus, not to my standard, but this one should suffice just fine. All right, so let's swap this one out. Put this one in. He even gets 2 images in his photo. Okay, gotta look swaggy. All right, I think we're all good to go now. And hopefully the Mariners can start off strong. First pitch to Bo Bichette from Luis Castillo. Inside with a sinker, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Bo Bichette. Let's go, baby. We're going to need a fast start here today. 1-1 pitch. Sinker fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from La Piedra to Bo Bichette. Let's go, Luis Castillo. 1-2 pitch, fouled off with a 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. Count remains 1-2. We're in the top of the first. Blue Jays visiting the Seattle Mariners. 22-14 record, 12-6 at home, and the hottest team in baseball in the last month. 1-2 pitch, high and outside with a 4-seam fastball, fouled off. Count remains 1-2. We'll be shooting for those 20 likes within the first hour. That way it'll help us with the algorithm. So if you can do your part, and if you're in the room, hit that like button. It takes 1 second to do, and that'll help us get recommended by YouTube on a few other streams and help us get quite a few more people in here. We're at 7, 3 more to go to get to 10, 13 to go to get to 20. Pitch fouled off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Bo Bichette. Pitch is low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full from Castillo to Bichette. Go, baby. All the good luck charms are here. And Bichette walks. Not the most ideal start for Luis Castillo, but hopefully we can have Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who is up next, ground out right up the middle into a double play. Hopefully the Trident will make a couple appearances here tonight. I appreciate you. Yeah, Bo Bichette grinding out that at-bat. A shout out to all the people that have liked, sub, donated, commented, shared, not only in this month, but in 2025. We're only a few subs away from 20,800. So anyone that is a new sub, whether it be, within the last few days or this year, shout out to you. I appreciate you guys very, very much, as well as all of the OGs. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a 4-seam fastball in the zone from Castillo to Guerrero. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is inside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Luis Castillo to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Pitch is low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Castillo to Guerrero Jr. And again, we need to be able to get off to a fast start And again, pitching has been a little suspect for the Mariners this year. And now you get back-to-back walks to Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And, you know, I think Luis struggled a little bit in 2023 and 2024 after we acquired him from the Reds in 2022. He was good for us then. We made the playoffs in Julio's rookie year, but stats and analytics were kind of going on a downward spiral. But this year, he kind of looked like that pitcher that we just newly acquired from the Reds. But again, here, a shaky start, walking Bo Bichette, as well as walking Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We don't want to give up runs in the first. Next up is Dalton Varsho. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count from Castillo to Varsho. Anna in the building, what's good? Trident's up, go Mariners. And again, our starting pitching has kind of had a reputation of doing this early, where we kind of get ourselves in a jam, you know, within the first couple innings. And we have to pray that if we're, you know, going to have bases loaded, that we only give up like a run, you know. And again, we've been pretty lucky in that circumstance. But, you know, if Castillo doesn't get into gear, this could get ugly quick. Pitch fouled off right down the pipe. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Varsho. We need a double play bad. Let's go. Varsho in the box. La Piedra on the mound. And we obviously know that we can't trust Logan Evans. We don't really trust Bryce Miller. I think Luis Castillo, up to this point, has been trustworthy. Brian Wu is our number 1, since Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are still out for a few more weeks. And Varsho strikes out looking. Thank God. Here we go. Nice job by Castillo getting his first K. And again, that's a good sign there. Next up, in the 4-hole, DHing George Springer. Doing good. And like I said, you know, pretty tough series. And again, starting pitching, you know, Emerson Hancock, I believe is starting to become a little bit more trustworthy than even Bryce Miller and Logan Evans. You know, and who knows, maybe Emerson Hancock is even more trustworthy than Luis Castillo. I mean, you know, he started off really rough, but lately in his last few starts, he's been much, much better. But, you know, again, we can't wait for George Kirby and Logan Gilbert to get back. And I know George is going to be making another AAA start for the Tacoma Rainiers. First pitch is low and out of the zone, four-seam fastball to George Springer, 1-0 count. And I think he's going to get one more start. They're going to give him like 3 there in AAA, George Kirby. And then if everything goes smoothly and he has no setbacks, he should be, you know, on the team and back pitching for us here in about a week or 2. Pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Springer. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging. Big swing and a miss on that sinker. 93 miles an hour by Castillo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runners at first and second. Bichette and Vlad Jr. We need to get out of this jam. Come on now. Pitch is low and away at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to George Springer. Come on, baby. Two-two pitch with the changeup inside at the hips, fouled off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to George Springer. The last thing that we need is Springer to get a home run or an RBI here. Got to get out of this inning unscathed. And if we're going to give up something, we can only give up a run. You don't want to give up any more than that. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Springer. And again, it's not just, you know, guys like Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller that have struggled in early innings. It also has been Brian Wu and Luis Castillo at times. You know, starting pitching is nowhere near being top 3 anymore. And then hopefully when George Kirby and, you know, Logan Gilbert come back, it'll get a little bit better. Springer reached on an infield single to third. Guerrero to second. Bichette. Now we got bases loaded with 1 out. Come on, Luis. I mean, we don't have too many guys that are trustworthy at this time. Don't blow it here. Next up, in the 5-hole, third baseman Addison Barger. Let's go. We need a double play bad. But, of course, with bases loaded, you'll take a strikeout or a pop-up as long as we can limit the damage here. Come on, Mariners. Addison Barger in the box. Luis Castillo on the mound, looking a little shaky. Come on, Luis. Come on, La Piedra. 3-2 record, 3.29 ERA. Second best to Brian Wu as far as healthy pitchers. First pitch inside, slider, 84 miles an hour, fouled off by Barger. 0-1 count. Yeah, I agree. I mean, and again, it doesn't really matter. We've even seen Logan Gilbert, struggle a little bit early on. It's not just been our weak guys. It's actually been our strong guys at the top of the rotation also. I don't know what it is. It takes like an inning or two for those guys to kind of settle in. But once they get settled in, they're good to go. But again, you don't want to be down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 right out of the gates and have to look up at the scoreboard. But luckily, we can hit this year. So even if we do get ourselves into a hole, we can climb out of it. Last year, we weren't able to do that, or the year before that, or the year before that. So, top of the first, bases loaded, in play on the 1-1 pitch, and just like that, Barger comes up big, doubled to right, 2-run RBI, and now we're down 2-0, and that's it. We can't get down any more than this. You start getting down more than 2 runs early, it's trouble. Next up, second baseman Ernie Clement. Come on, Castillo. I mean, we need Kirby and Gilbert back, but we also need them back healthy. Because, again, if they're not on, and they're not healthy when they come back, then the same result, that we're getting from all of our other pitchers is going to, happen with them as well. Still feel confident that we can still win this game. I mean, again, we've been through the ringer and back, right? We play the Soda Mojo Chaos ball. First pitch, low and away with a strike looking. 0-1 count from Castillo to Clement. And, even when we get down by 5 runs late, we still can find ways to come back. But there is a limit to how much we can come back by. If it gets above 5 runs, it's going to be a lot harder. But, that 5 is kind of the magic number so far for the Mariners in this early part of the season, where we've proven that we can come back from 5 runs late, even if it ends up being in the 8th or 9th inning, like in that Astro game. Top of the first, runners at second and third with 1 out. Clement in play. And grounded out to the pitcher, throw to first, 2 away. Thank God. Down goes Ernie. Next up, right fielder Nathan Lukes. And we can't have him get anything here either. You got to get a punch out, pop up, or a ground ball out. Let's go. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. But again, am I surprised that, we're starting off like this? Not really, because it's kind of been our MO all year, right? Every single pitcher, even the best one in Brian Wu, has had, a circumstance or an outing like this. It's not ideal, but again, it definitely makes for some entertaining baseball, knowing that, you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to come back quick. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, tries to jam the hitter and does. Behind in the count now, 0-2. From Castillo to Lukes. Top of the first, runners at second and third, 2-0 Blue Jays already, and we have to find a way. But again, before, when we were like the worst hitting team in baseball and the number 1 strikeout team, we knew that if we had bases loaded, no outs, or 1 out and got nothing, we might not have very many options. And Lukes flies out to center, Julio is there, and we get out of the inning finally, not unscathed. I was hoping it was only going to be 1, but it ended up being 2, but I'm not worried about it. Our bats are alive. And again, when you're one of the top hitting teams in baseball, you can get down like this. But in years past, once you get down, it's like almost the game was over, unless you got incredibly lucky with a rally later in the game or once starting pitching went out. But again, this is the best team the Mariners have had since our 2001 team. The team is special. So again, we're going to have to get to work right away. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next for the Mariners. Pitching for the Blue Jays with a similar record to Castillo, 2-3 record, an ERA of 3.83, Kevin Gausman. So nothing too crazy to be afraid about. We should be able to rough him up at some point. And obviously when the bullpen comes in, that is our time to shine. Leading off for the Mariners, who's been extra hot within the last month, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing for the Seattle Mariners, batting typically 350 to 450 all year, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, a guy that's been hot as of late, and we need him to be, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Savage in the building. What's good? And if you're just tuning in to the action, top of the first, Barger doubled to right, Bichette scored, Vlad Jr. scored, Springer to third, but that really all started by back-to-back walks. And again, if Castillo doesn't do that, they probably don't score, or they score maybe one. But again, pitching has been a little shaky, for the starters for the Seattle Mariners, as well as some of the bullpen guys. Some of them are, kind of finding, themselves. And obviously, really the only one that hasn't been bad is Andres Munoz, who might be the best closer in baseball in 2025. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Let's go, J.P. And we definitely need singles, doubles, homers. We need anything positive to start off our day. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is low and away with a four-seam fastball from Gaussman. 93 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Got to be able to rough up Kevin early and often, just like they did to Luis. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. Splitter, 84 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gaussman to J.P. Crawford. JT in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to that number. The faster that we can get to 20 likes, we can get recommended by YouTube and get quite a few more. We only have about a third of you in the room that have done it so far. We're at 13. So if we can get 7 more people to get to 20, then we're in business, and I would greatly appreciate it. And again, we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Something as simple as hitting the like button, it really does matter. It's that algorithm and the metrics. JP flies out to the shortstop, 1 away. Batting second for the Mariners, DHing Jorge Polanco. First pitch to Polo, high and away, foul ball with that splitter, 0-1 count. Let's go, Polo. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees from Gaussman. Four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gaussman to Polo. Let's go, baby. One pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gaussman to Polo. Let's go, Jorge. We're going to need a good outing from you today. In play, and Polo grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Got to get that bat going, Jorge. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. We need you, baby. Trident's up. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Blue Jays with nobody on and 2 outs. And, of course, Julio's going to swing at the first pitch like he always does, and he is out. Golly. And I know he always thinks that he's going to get that fastball right down the middle and he's going to be able to connect and it's going to be a solo dinger. But again, it happens once in a while, but most pitchers, they know how to pitch to you. And again, if they can throw garbage low and away or try to jam you and you take the bait, then you end up having a very short at-bat that lasts 3 pitches or less, and a lot of them only last 1 pitch. Hard to be able to be an asset to your team when you're that overly aggressive, but hopefully it'll work out later in the matchup. Okay, let's go here to the top of the 2nd inning and see who's up next for the Blue Jays. Next up for the Blue Jays, in the 8-hole, catcher Tyler Heineman. Batting second in the 9-hole, former Seattle Mariner left fielder Jonathan Clase. And batting third, back at the top of the order, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, went to first based off a walk. In that inning, Bo Bichette. Let's go Mariners. First pitch to Castillo to Heineman. 10 feet off the plate. 1-0 count with that sinker. Come on, baby. Heineman in the box. Castillo on the mound. And Luis has been very shaky. In play. And Heineman fouled out to right. 1 away. There we go, Luis. Find your rhythm. Heineman pops out to right, 1 away. Next up, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder, Jonathan Clase. First pitch, 10 feet off the plate with the sinker again, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away with that sinker, 93 miles an hour. Castillo all over the place, 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch. 4-seam fastball, high and away. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike from Castillo to Clase. Come on, baby. Two-one pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and away, fouled off. 94 miles an hour from Castillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Clase. 2-2 pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Luis. And he is all over the place this evening. And again, this might be our second best pitcher at the moment since George Kirby and Logan Gilbert are injured still. And this is unacceptable, man. This is going to be a lot harder to be able to win if you're all over the place like this. In play, and Jonathan Clase grounds out to second, 2 away. Next up, shortstop Bo Bichette. His first at-bat there in the first. He was walked. Hopefully that doesn't happen here again. Let's go, Luis. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Fouled off. Tries to jam the hitter at the knees. Behind in the count now 0-2. Top of the second. 2-0 Blue Jays with nobody on and 2 outs. Castillo on the mound looking very shaky in these first 2 innings. Bo Bichette in the box. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Bichette. 1-2 pitch. Slider fouled off by Bichette. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 outs and nobody on, top of the second, 2-0 Toronto. And again, we're going to have that magic number, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. It seems like we've been getting about 6 runs almost every game or more. But again, we're going to have to get off to an early start. And Bichette singles to left on that 1-2 pitch. Nice hit there by Bo. Next up for the Blue Jays, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. His first at-bat, he was walked. And hopefully we can find a way to get a force out at second here to get to the Mariners side of the batter's box, and then we can start to produce on our end. Top of the second, 2-0 Toronto. Runner at first with 2 outs. Next up, Vlad Jr. There we go. We're almost at that 20 number. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need 1 more person to get to 20. And then once we get to that number, we can hit the algorithm and get the metrics going. And we should get quite a few more people. We have at least 15 or 16 in the room that haven't done it yet. But shout out to all the people that have. I appreciate you. First pitch right down the middle to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a 4-seam fastball fouled off. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Pitch is high and away with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Vlad Jr. Come on, Luis. We need you, baby. You can't be pitching like you were pitching last year in 2023. We need you to pitch like you've been pitching so far in this 2025 season, which is similar to what you look like in 2022. 1-1 pitch, low and away, about 5 feet off the plate with that sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs with a runner at first. Top of the second, 2-0 Toronto. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is outside with a 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Vlad Jr. Come on, Vladdy. Show me something. And Louise, what are you doing? Top of the second, 2-0 Toronto. Runner at first. 3-1 count to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And got him. There we go. Finally get out of the inning. And at least Luis didn't give up any more runs, but that's kind of been our MO for the pitchers to be a little shaky, within the first couple innings. But after that period usually passes, they're, I wouldn't say lights out, but much better than they typically are in those first couple innings. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the second, and hopefully we can get some hits and some runs. Next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the second, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Batting second, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Mariners. Andrea in the building. What's good? Go M's. Slow start so far, but still got confidence that we can find a way. My pup is in here now. She missed me. She was on the couch, but we're very attached, so she likes to be able to snuggle in here behind me, waiting for Dad to get done, and hopefully we'll be able to go on a victory walk after this game is over. But for that to happen, we're going to need some of these bats to start, getting lively. And hopefully Cal, he's due for a homer. And again, we have this series Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here at T-Mobile against the Yankees. So we might have to wait for Cal to homer once, we see him go against New York. But I think it'll be a pretty good chance for him to go with that torpedo bat and go yard at least once. And then we have Backlash tomorrow for WWE. So I'll probably end up doing that because that starts at like 4. And then the Mariner game is around the same time, around 6:40. So right when Backlash is getting kind of wrapped up, that's when the Mariner game will start. So, if the event is still going on, I'll do coverage for both. And then we'll be back at it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for obviously the Mariners. So the only time that I'll end up, choosing something over the Mariners, which will typically be like a WWE pay-per-view or PLE. Gossman to Big Dumper. First pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gossman to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees again. 2 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper. Let's go, Cal. Singles, doubles, homers, walks, whatever we can get, we'll take it. Let's go. And if you're just tuning in the top of the first, Addison Barger doubled to right, Bichette scored, Guerrero scored, Springer to third to give them the 2-0 lead. But it started off with Luis Castillo walking the first 2 batters, Bichette and Vlad. So not ideal for the start for us here. Pitch fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we're definitely going to need some homers here today. Let's go. Pitch fouled off again. Cal likes working the count as often as he can. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. And we're at 22 likes, so we're doing a good job there. 8 more to get to 30. Appreciate you. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Every line of support matters. Like, subs, donos, comments, shares, anything positive. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs from Gaussman to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the second, and we're down by 2. Come on, baby. Trident's up. Four-seam fastball in play and popped out to second. 1 away. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. And Randy's been pretty cold overall. You know, he was warming up in that Tiger series against Skubal, but that was weeks ago. So hopefully he'll find a way. First pitch, low and at the knees, fouled off. Tries to jam the hitter, and Gaussman does. 0-1 count. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Blue Jays. Nobody on with 1 out. And an 0-1 count from Gaussman to Randy Arozarena. And again, Kevin right now, 2-3 record, 3.83 ERA. So nothing really to get too concerned about. But again, Castillo putting us in a hole early with those back-to-back walks to start the game. Not ideal. Takes a strike looking right down the pipe. Behind in the count now, 0-2 from Gaussman to Randy Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the slider. Tried to bait him there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. In play. And Arozarena grounded out to the shortstop. Throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Come on, Randy. Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And he was the Canadian killer when we ended up going up to Toronto, had that solo shot and that famous grand salami for that game where it went almost 4 hours long. So we had a WWE event at that time as well. I believe, WrestleMania. So again, it's been a little bit since then, that big series for Rowdy to kind of get his year turned around. But he's been pretty consistent coming up with RBIs and hits. Him and Polo, have been pretty clutch, and hopefully the clutchness can come out today. First pitch takes a strike looking outside of the zone. Should have been called ball, but called strike. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Four-seam fastball in the zone, called ball. That one should have been a strike. I don't know what this ump is looking at. He's calling strikes balls and balls strikes. 1-1 pitch takes a strike swinging. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. I mean, he was getting really close on possibly getting sent down to AAA, and down goes Rowdy Tellez, struck out swinging. But again, we got Tyler Locklear in AAA kind of waiting, at some point or another. But again, nothing there for Rowdy, but we may have to wait until Gaussman goes out. I was hoping that we could kind of rough him up early within the first 5 innings. So maybe it would be possible for him to exit an inning before they typically like to go 6. But in this particular game, I don't know if the bats are going to come alive in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or we're just going to have to wait for Gaussman to exit and then have the bullpen come in, and then we start raking then in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean, whatever happens. We just have to trust that the pitching will not give up any more or very minimal, hits and runs, and then the bats can come alive at some point. Next up for the Blue Jays, 0-for-1 with a K, center fielder Dalton Varsho. Batting second, 1-for-1, DHing for Toronto, George Springer. And batting third, 1-for-1 with 2 RBIs, Addison Barger. Let's go Mariners. I'm not really sure, what plans people have, as far as some of the regulars, if they are, running errands or, got something else that's going on. But I assume we'll get quite a few people hopping in and being a little bit more active in the chat as the game goes on. But as far as newbies are concerned, they can chat whenever they want, maybe just a little shy. All right, top of the third, 2-0 Blue Jays. Next up is Dalton Varsho. Come on, Louise. First pitch to Varsho, low and at the knees with the sinker, 1-0 count. Pitch is outside, four-seam fastball on the line, 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Varsho. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, same spot, same location, same pitch, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Varsho. Varsho in the box, Luis Castillo on the mound. In play, and Varsho flies out to center. Julio is there. 1 away. Next up, DHing George Springer. First pitch, high and inside with the slider, 81 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. Should have been called ball, called strike. This ump is terrible. 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, even if it ends up, being a pitch that goes in our favor, we know that if they're going to do it on that end, they're going to do it to us too. So I would just rather have them try to be as accurate as possible, but we know that is far-fetched. And Springer grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Next up, 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. The guy that broke the game open with back-to-back walks to Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to open the game, Addison Barger. Can't let him do that again. In play, and Barger doubles the center. Wow. Nice hit by Addison Barger there. Got to get out of this inning unscathed. Next up, second baseman Ernie Clement. First pitch with the sinker low and away, fouled off, 0-1 count. I mean, they're going to have human umps. It's never going to be where you're not going to have any human umps. There still has to be, umps at first base and third base. The only thing that they may change is not having an ump, behind the catcher, where they may just have like that, board behind them, being obviously giving you all the stats and all of the location, like a graph coming up behind the players so they can see, what is what, strike, ball, and the strike zone. But, I'm not sure if we're ever going to get to a point where there's, no humans as far as umps that, you're still going to have some. Because you got to think at some point, like what happens if, there's some kind of issue, technically, with the equipment, not saying that someone would hack into it and change things, but, and in play, Clement, and that's going to bring in another run there. Singles to right, Barger scores 3-0 Blue Jays. Nice job by Ernie. Luis, what are you doing, my guy? You're putting us in a jam. Next up, right fielder Nathan Lukes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point is, it's like you got Brian Wu as the best, but even sometimes he'll look a little shaky. Is Emerson Hancock our second best pitcher? And then Luis Castillo, and then, maybe Bryce Miller, and then Logan Evans. It's and that's kind of scary to think if Hancock is our second most reliable, but Luis not looking good here today. And again, it's not really been the hitters have been just beating us up. He's just hasn't really thrown good location, especially with those back-to-back walks. He's been kind of all over, the zone. First pitch, DeLukes fouled off right down the pipe, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and away, takes a strike looking. In the count now, 0-2. 0-2 pitch from Castillo to Lukes, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Castillo to Lukes. But again, if this was like last year or the years before, we would probably be like, shit, man, this one might be over. But, since we are, the hottest team in baseball in the last month, and we can get 6 to 10 runs almost every game, even when it doesn't feel like we are, sometimes you just never know when that magic inning is going to happen. And, again, we are in the top 5 in many, many offensive statistical categories. So this is a little worrisome, I feel, for our pitching staff. But again, nothing that we haven't proven that we can climb out of. Top of the third, runner at first with 2 outs. 1-2 count. In play. Jesus, really? And just like that, back. See ya! 5-0 Blue Jays. Lukes with the homer. Oh, golly. I mean, that's kind of like maybe our maximum that we can get down by, but this is not good. And obviously our bullpen has been pretty shaky. And, when you're down 3-0 and then all of a sudden Lukes comes in there, who's not an everyday player normally with this roster at the beginning of the year, and hits a 2-run jack. Now you have catcher Tyler Heineman coming up next. Come on, Louise. Because again, at this point, you're putting the pressure where we need our starters, regardless on how good or bad they're doing, to pitch 6 innings, at the very least 5. And you're not even halfway there. You're in the 3rd, and you've already given up 5. Definitely one of the worst starts that we've seen out of Luis this year, and I was hoping that this wouldn't happen. And again, we got 2 more games with the Blue Jays after this, and then we got the Yankees. So it's not going to get any fucking easier. In play from Heineman, grounds out to second, throw to first. Got him, but the damage is fucking done. Holy hell, 5-0. And again, this is probably the maximum that we can get down by. If we get down by any more without scoring at least a run to stop the bleeding, it might be a long day. And again, we'll figure out how long they're going to go with Luis at this point. I know that our bullpen has been shaky as well, but I mean, can it get any worse than what we're seeing right now? I mean, I guess with our bullpen sometimes, but some of our guys are pretty good in the pen, and, we'll see how it goes. And at least one thing, Trent Thornton ended up having an injury, so we're bringing Troy Taylor back up. That happened earlier today. So the guy that was the biggest liability on the team, besides Donovan Solano, is no longer on the roster at the moment because he's injured. But again, we need guys, Brash, Gabe Spire, Andres Munoz as a closer. We know he can get it done, but he's not going to be coming into the game if we're fucking down 5-0. They'll go with Vargas or one of the other guys, Bizzardo, and we obviously know that some of those guys are very hit and miss. Sometimes they look great, and other times they're giving up what we're getting right here out of Luis Castillo, which is not a whole lot. All right, baby. I still believe. Next up, right fielder, looking good in that Seattle uniform, Leody Taveras. And I didn't think they would have any new photos of him in the Mariner uniform already since he's only played 1 game, but the photographers are on it. Looking good. Leody helping us win in that last game. Batting second in the 8-hole, it's Demo Dylan Moore. And batting third in the 9-hole, third baseman Ben Williamson. And maybe this will be where the rally starts. Maybe we can get Leody to bunt, or maybe he'll get walked or get a nice single. Demo can, get a single or a double, and then Ben Williamson can be Ben Williamson. So maybe we can get the rally started here. But, I mean, getting down 5-0, not ideal. Come on, baby. What are you talking about? Oregon Ducks, Andrea? Yeah, everyone knows that Dan Lanning, is a top 5 coach in college football. If that's what they're talking about, And again, we got obliterated by Ohio State because Chip Kelly was, the OC and doing a great job. First pitch low and away from Gaussman to Taveras, but I've been following the Ducks since the 80s, and again, as long as Dan Lanning stays at Oregon, they'll go to a couple natties. Not saying that they're going to win the first time that they get there. If they end up playing like Ohio State or, like a, Georgia type of team and they're on, we could definitely lose like we did in the playoff, right? But obviously the way that the seeding, it was a little off. It's like, for the teams that had a bye, all those teams were hurt based on the teams that played every week, like Ohio State, keeping the rhythm and the momentum. 1 ball and 2 strikes as that last pitch was fouled off by Taveras. But, I'm confident that, Lanning will be able to win at least 1, before his time is up. If he decides to, for example, if they fire Kirby Smart, the first guy that they're going to ask to coach the team will be Dan Lanning because he was the defensive coordinator there. So, I definitely want to see the Mariners win since they've never even been to a World Series. And I want to see the Ducks win at least 1, before I'm gone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Taveras. 1-2 pitch in play, and Taveras flies out to right, 1 away. Lauren in the building, what's good? Next up, second baseman Dylan Moore. Well, Lauren, you live up in Canada and you like rooting for the Blue Jays and the Mariners. There's nothing wrong with that, Obviously, you're going to be a little torn, on whoever your number 1 is. If that's the Blue Jays and Mariners are 2, that's all right. No hard feelings here. We're always going to be good buddies and whatnot. Obviously, you want to win, I want to win. And obviously, seeing the Mariners struggle, it's probably, little catch-22. You know, it's like, glad you're seeing the Blue Jays winning, but not maybe seeing the Mariners at a 0. First pitch from Gausman to Demo. Takes a strike looking with that slider on the line. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. Takes a strike swinging. Behind in the count now 0-2 from Gausman to Demo. 0-2 pitch. Slider low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gausman to Demo. Bottom of the third, 5-0 Mariners. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is low and away with that splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gausman to Demo. Come on, Demo. We need somebody to get this rally going. We don't even have a hit yet, and that's rare for being one of the, top 3, top 4 hitting teams, best team in baseball in the last month, But every once in a while, you're going to have a slow start. And when you have these slow starts, it definitely reminds us of, past years. Because this is the best team that we've had since 2001. And again, we don't really like seeing the starting pitching and the bullpen be so shaky. But if we can end up, having the bats be top 3, top 4, top 5 in the league, we know that we're still going to have a chance. It's not over till the fat lady sings. Bottom of the third, 5-0 Blue Jays. Gausman on the mound, Demo in the box, 2-2 count with 1 out. Come on, baby. And Demo strikes out swinging. Brutal. Down goes Demo. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. Will he be the guy that gets us our first hit to get us going? Right now, Kevin wheeling and dealing. And Gausman, 2-3 record with an ERA of 3.83. But if you're watching the game, it feels like his ERA might be 0.83. And he might be 5-0 because that's what he's looking like out there. Let's go, Big Ben. We need you. Who's going to stop the bleeding here? First pitch takes a strike looking with a 4-seam fastball, 0-1 count. We're in the bottom of the third, down 5-0. But we can't get any down more than this. Oh, 0-1 pitch in play. And there it is. We can always count on Ben Williamson, my guy. Let's go. Nice job, Ben. Again, we know that you got amazing arm, a laser, a rocket at third for defensive purposes, but we can count on you offensively as well. And again, should be our everyday third baseman for the next 5 to 10 years. Love me some Big Ben. Nice job. Finally getting our first hit of the game in the third inning. Next up, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And again, with a game like this, when we're struggling, we may need to drop a bunt or 2 down. You got to try to be able to find, ways to manufacture yourself to get to first base. If you get walked or if you get hit by a pitch and you don't get hurt, so be it. But you have to be crafty, especially when you go against a team like Toronto. First pitch, low and away from Gausman to JP with a splitter, 85 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, baby. Let's go, J.P. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, baby. You've been extra hot. We need it. And the Mariners have a presence where, even when we have 2 outs, we can still get something going. Pitches low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Even if we force a walk here, and start to wear down Gausman, it would be money. Then getting guys at first and second. Not saying that we're going to score the first time that we have guys on first and second, but, you got to think if JP can force a walk here, Polo comes up and 1 swing, hits a homer, and then it's 5-3. We're right back in business. So, come on, JP. Bottom of the third, runner at first with 2 outs, 5-0 Blue Jays. In play on the 3-1 pitch. Here we go, baby. And there's J.P. Crawford, single to center, Williamson to third. We're very good with 2 outs in 2025. That's what I'm talking about. You got to talk it into existence. Big Ben, there you go, getting a nice little single. J.P., he says, hey, I can do it too. Next up, Jorge Polanco. Let's go. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. And with 1 swing, we can have some electricity and get right back into the game. Let's go, Polo. I mean, hell, we'll even take an RBI single to get it to 5-1. I mean, we don't need, a 3-run jack. That's best case scenario. Right now, if we can just stop the bleeding and get an RBI single, and then we can have Polo at first, JP at second, I think we'd be fine with that as well. Just find a way to score 1, just like we did in the last game, when we were down 5-0, right? And you just got to chip away. 5-1, and then Rowdy Tellez ended up hitting that 3-run homer. Then it was 5-4, and then and then you can end up scoring 5, 6, 7 unanswered, and then all of a sudden the Blue Jays look up at the scoreboard, instead of being up 5-0, they're down a run. Come on, Polo. In play. There we go. There we go. My ESP. Let's go. Polo singles to right. Williamson scores. Crawford to third. 5-1 Mariners. Let's go. Yes. You just got to talk it into existence, baby. This team, you might hold us down temporarily, but not the whole time. There we go. Nice job by JP. Nice job by Polo. Nice job by Big Ben. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. And if Julio, he's actually been seeing the ball quite a bit better in the last month. If we can end up getting him to, have good contact here and even just getting an RBI single and making it 5-2, that would be huge, at this point. But at least we stopped the bleeding. We got our first run in the third, which is great. Now we're down 4. But again, if we can continue this rally with 2 outs, Julio with 1 swing can make it, 5-4, right? Not saying that he will, but he definitely has the ability. First pitch, fouled off with the 4-seam fastball low and at the knees. 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. Captain in the building. What's good? Come on, Julio. Let's go, J-Rod. Try dance up. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the splitter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. And if you're just tuning in, obviously Luis Castillo had back-to-back walks, and then Barger had a double, and then it ended up being 2-0 right in the first inning. So hasn't really been the most ideal start, pitching-wise for us, but you can't knock us down with our bats. 1-1 pitch, splitter, low and away, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. Try dance up. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 30. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos, and we're still looking for our first line of support. Bottom of the third, runners at first and third with 2 outs, 5-1 Toronto. Are you going to be here for the rest of the game, Captain, watching the Thunder and the Mariners? You can help me out with the likes and the donos. It'd be greatly appreciated if you're going to be here. Pitches low and at the knees, fouled off with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and third with 2 outs. We were down 5-0. Now it's 5-1. And we're just trying to chip away at this lead that the Blue Jays have gotten on the Mariners here. Five likes to 30. Appreciate you, Captain. I mean, considering we don't have a lead mod, it's up to all of the mods and all of the regulars to kind of step up and help out when they can. And down goes Julio. But again, best case scenario, we would have made it 5-4 or 5-3. But sometimes you just got to get that first one. right? Just to stop the bleeding, put the Band-Aid on, and now, okay, now we're getting a couple guys on base. Yeah, we didn't get everybody to come home on that first trip, because that was pretty much our first inning where we got hits, right? But the next time up, maybe that'll be, when we end up having that big rally where we get 2, 3, 4 runs and then we tie the game up. So again, I'm happy that we finally got going. And again, you never know who's going to be that unsung hero. As you see my pup walking in the background there, getting to her little spot there on the bed. But Ben Williamson getting it going for us. JP Crawford, nice job, Polo. And again, hopefully Julio next time up can do something. And then we got Cal, Randy, and Rowdy that we're still waiting on. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Blue Jays in the top of the 4th. Next up for the Blue Jays, the former Seattle Mariner in the 9-hole, left fielder Jonathan Clase. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run and a base on ball, shortstop Bo Bichette. And batting third, first baseman, 0-for-1 with a run and a base on ball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Let's go. Come on, Castillo. Putting us in a big hole early. Already at 70 pitches. Not ideal. Jonathan Clase, the former Seattle Mariner. And in play, flies out to left on a 1-2 pitch. 1 away. There we go. Next up, Bo Bichette. Top of the 4th inning, 5-1, Toronto. Let's go, baby. And that's always the problem when you got guys that throw straight heat. Where you got guys like Castillo and Wu and Miller, where they don't really have a lot of the location that Gilbert and Kirby have. Kirby is like a Greg Maddux, where it's more about location than top end speed. But for Wu and Miller and Castillo, they just try to throw it through you. And again, that's all nice and dandy if you can throw 95 to 100 if you have accuracy. But when you don't hit the zone, then your pitches are all over the place, and then you end up hurting the team, and you end up being a liability rather than an asset. And then you're making it harder for the batters to do their job because you're looking up at a 5-0 deficit, not sitting at a score that's 1-1 or 1-0. Pitch fouled off, right down the pipe from Castillo to Bichette. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. We're in the top of the 4th, 5-1 Toronto. Come on, Castillo. This has definitely got to be one of the, lower end performances, in 2025, because prior to this start, he was probably our second best pitcher behind Brian Wu, because again, it probably goes Wu, Castillo, probably Emerson Hancock, Bryce Miller, and then Logan Evans, at this point. But Logan and Bryce have been really bad lately. And Bichette reached on an infield single to the shortstop, and there's the throwing error. Come on! And he gets to second. Holy hell. Next up, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I feel like a lot of the home teams, maybe ended up getting a little too cocky and too arrogant, thinking that they were just going to run through the opponents, and a lot of the home teams lost game one, in the Eastern and Western Conference, but injuries to really key players, on the Cavs, and Steph Curry to the Warriors in play. And Guerrero Jr. flies out to right, Bichette to third, 2 away. And some teams are going to be able to respond. I feel like maybe the biggest surprise is the Celtics coaching has been so terrible. When you end up, going 25 for 100, in threes, you're not going to win. If you go 15 for 60, you're going to lose. And then the second game, you go 10 for 40. 25 for 100 from the three-point line, you're not going to win. And on top of that, you had like a 20-point lead on the Knicks. So for the Knicks to be up 2-0, again, that's just a product of bad coaching by the Celtics. You got to be able to attack the paint and slow the game down. Why are you giving the Knicks an easy way out by just shooting threes? Is that all you are? And apparently that's all they are, are just a, deep shooting team. That's the only thing they believe in, and in the regular season, it worked for them. Where they could, shoot from 35 to 40% from three and blow out a lot of teams, but the playoffs is a little different. But I feel that if the Celtics do go down and they're not able to recover being down 2-0, that just makes it that much easier for the Thunder to win the whole thing, in my opinion. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Varsho. But SGA is going to get MVP, and obviously the Joker had a great game 1, but then they got obliterated in game 2. And, if you're looking at rosters top to bottom, OKC is the best, and they have been all year. The only thing that's going to beat OKC is OKC themselves with injuries, and hopefully that doesn't happen. Pitch is inside and fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Varsho. Top of the 4th with 2 outs, 5-1 Blue Jays with a runner at third. No, I'm not going to stream the playoffs because the NBA is terrible. It's not worth it. I mean, I'll do Mariners. I'll do, like, tomorrow I'm going to do WWE Backlash instead of the Mariner game because Backlash is on at 4 and Mariner game's on at 6:40. So I'm going to watch Backlash, but I will watch the Mariner game as well. And then we'll end up doing the Mariners on Sunday at 1 and then against the Blue Jays in the rubber match as we get out of the inning here. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to, do the Mariners and the Yankees. So I feel like, I feel like the NHL and the NBA playoffs have been a little boring, if I'm being honest. So, again, it's like I'll still keep up with what's going on, but it's not worth my time. Yeah, it's a terrible product. You couldn't pay me to do it. Next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th, 0 for 1, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 1, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. And the NBA's viewership, might be slightly better in the playoffs, but this is the best team the Mariners have had in 24 years. So we haven't been this good since 2001. So I'm definitely not going to do a random NBA game over the Mariners. Not happening. All right, we're at 29. We need one more like to hit 30. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need one more to hit 30. And we're still looking for our first dono for the dono train. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and away with a strike swinging with that splitter, 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. I mean, I'm going to do things that I enjoy, unless, people want me to be a fake person like everyone else on social media and overreact and act like I'm having a great time when I'm not, but, again, as it gets deeper into the playoffs, it'll start to pick up a little bit, but, not worth a stream in my opinion. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Big Dumper. I mean, I'll do filler streams during the regular season for like Kraken and Blazers, but if I was going to do an alternative stream, it would be like NASCAR or like WWE rather than NBA or NHL. Unless there's like nothing on, like bare nothing, then maybe then I'll look at, NHL or NBA if there's nothing. But 1-2 pitch, fouled off from Gaussman to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Toronto. And Kevin Gaussman, 2-3 record with a 3.83 ERA. 1-2 pitch, 4-seam fastball, low and away, fouled off again. 1-2 count from Gaussman to Big Dumper. Come on, Cal. Let's go, baby. We need the bat. Get that torpedo bat connected. Let's go, Cal. One-two pitch, 4-seam fastball, high and away, fouled off again. 1 ball and 2 strikes with no outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Toronto. Come on, Cal. I mean, I still keep up with everything that's going on in the NHL and the NBA, but to do a stream, that's going to depend on what the priority is. In play and lined out to the shortstop, throw to first, 1 away. Matt in the building. What's good, brother? Next up, 0 for 1, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Toronto with nobody on. Let's go, Randy. We need you, baby. Nice catch by Bo Bichette on that previous out. Come on, Randy. We need you. I'm good. I mean, obviously the Mariners are down 5-1 right now, so that's not good. But overall, my mental health is great. Like I said, I get to spend every day with my best friend, Paisley Pup. So obviously, exercise is always on the agenda. We're always, getting outside and, walking 5 miles a day. And when you do that, it definitely, helps, your mood and how you feel. Obviously eating healthy on top of that too. So now it's just about, favorite sports teams coming back and winning. And we got WWE Backlash 2025 tomorrow, which I will do a live stream for that tomorrow. It starts at 4 o'clock Pacific. Card looks actually pretty good. And the Mariner game will be on a little bit on as soon as like that PLE ends. That's when you're going to end up, getting the Mariner game to start roughly. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we're going to be able to get. We got John Cena and Randy Orton for the last time. Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch, which should be good. Dominic Mysterio versus Penta, that should be good. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest, that should be good. That might steal the show. And then Pat McAfee versus Gunther. So not really a bad match on the card. So definitely rooting for the Mariners to win 2 out of 3 in this Blue Jays series. Looking forward to Backlash tomorrow. And then we'll get back at it at 1 o'clock on Sunday with the rubber match, last matchup between the Blue Jays and the Mariners. So I'm not going to be missing too many Mariner games, maybe 5 to 10 all year. And probably because of a WWE, pay-per-view or a PLE. That would be really the only reason. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 3-2 count. 3-2 pitch from Gaussman to Randy Arozarena. Tries to jam him, fouls it off with a four-seam fastball. Count still remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Gaussman on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. But hopefully you've been able to cut back on some of the, energy drink type stuff and, continue to work out, eat healthy, and, find other hobbies to keep things kind of going. And nice, Randy in play. Go, go, go. Yes, nice double by Randy Arozarena down that third base line. There we go, Randy. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's exactly what we needed. Trident's up. Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a little rally going here. Could this be the inning we get it to 5-2 or 5-3? Let's go, Rowdy. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, for some of the regulars, I don't know where they're at. If they got, plans to, go see a movie or, they're just doing something else. And in play, and Tellez grounds out to first. Randy Arozarena slides into third there, 2 away. Wish Rowdy would have been a little bit more patient at that at-bat with that little dribbler to first, but at least he moves the runner over. Randy goes to third. Next up, right fielder, looking good in that Seattle uniform rather than that Ranger uniform, Leody Taveras, and already making an impact in his first game, helping us win, and hopefully he'll be able to help us win here as well. First pitch, low and away with the splitter fouled off, 0-1 count, and I don't think he's going to have the same kind of impact as like Victor Robles when we brought him in, in the middle part of the season, but he might end up being, that piece that we need in right field, as we wait for Victor to get healthy. It's usually they have like Luke Raley out there or, they're kind of rotating different guys, Miles Mastroboni, Demo, but maybe Taveras can be that guy so we don't have to worry about rotating anybody in that spot. So pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Taveras. Come on, Leody. I mean, the only person that I know for sure, I know Sarah, is obviously, hanging out with family since she lost her dad. So she'll be in the streams maybe, next week and whatnot. And, she has every right to, do what she wants, She wants to be here. She can be here. If she wants to, spend time with family or be on other streams, we just want the best for her. And, hopefully things will get better for her in due time. Pitches low and away, fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Taveras. But that's the only person that I've heard from today. That's not in the streams at the moment. But as far as everyone else, not too sure. I mean, some people might be watching SmackDown. Some people might be watching a movie. Some people might be out with friends. I assume we'll get some people coming through as the game goes on, as we get deeper into the matchup, though. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Toronto. Runner at third with 2 outs. Randy Arozarena is there. We just need Taveras to knock him in. Pitches low and away. Good eye. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gaussman to Taveras. Come on, Leody. Come on, baby. Gaussman on the mound. Leody Taveras in the box. And down goes Leody. Damn it. And we leave another one stranded. We might just have to wait, obviously, for Gaussman to go out. And then as soon as he goes out, just like with the A's, you bring in a bullpen guy that's shaky. And then Rowdy Tellez ended up having a 3-run jack, and we got right back into the game. It's kind of seems like we might have to have that same kind of formula where Gaussman isn't like an electric pitcher, but, again, we're not really hitting him today. So we might just have to wait for the pen to come in, and all it takes is one guy being shitty in the pen for a couple pitches, and then we can get it to 5-3, 5-4, 5-5. But you got to give Kevin some love. up to this point, he's been doing a good job. Castillo was very shaky to start off the game, back-to-back walks that ended up leading to a 2-run RBI by Addison Barger. So, again, the game could have been 2-1 or 3-run right now, but, we just have to hope the bats can explode once Gausman goes out. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the 5th for the Blue Jays. Still have faith in this team no matter what. We're the best team in baseball in the last month. #1 overall. Got to keep that mojo going. Next up, 1 for 2, DHing George Springer. Batting second, 2 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs. The guy that got the party started, Addison Barger. And batting third, second baseman Ernie Clement. And again, they're probably going to try to stretch Castillo as far as he can go because our bullpen has been shaky as well. But, damn, giving up 5 runs is not good, my guy. Take a look at some of the scores right now. We got Padres 12, Rockies 2 in the top of the 8th. Orioles 3, Angels 0. Dodgers 8, Diamondbacks 4 in the bottom of the 4th. Yankees up 2-0 on the A's in the bottom of the 4th. And we got some final scores. Pirates 3, Braves 2. Tigers 2, Rangers 1. Cardinals 10, Nats 0. I know Sarah's happy about that. Rays 4, Brewers 3. Mets 7, Cubs 2. Guardians 6, Phillies 0. That's a bad loss for Philadelphia. Royals 2, Red Sox 1 and 12. White Sox 6, Marlins 2. And then the Astros beating the Reds 3-0 and the Twins beating the Giants 3-1. And on the NHL side, you have the Panthers beating the Maple Leafs 5-4 in OT. Jets up 2-0 on the Stars. And then on NBA action, we have the Cavs beating the Pacers 126-104, even with all those injuries. And now the Nuggets are up by 1, 39-38. Against the Thunder with 7:58 left in the second quarter. Takes a strike looking there on the line. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Springer. And down goes Springer. Strikes out looking. There we go. Nice job, Louise. Haven't got too many Ks today, but we'll take it any time that we can get it. Down goes Springer with a strikeout. Next up, third baseman Addison Barger. First pitch on the line from Castillo to Barger. 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Castillo to Barger. Come on, baby. Come on, Louise. You need all the good luck charms. The Griffey bauble will stay on the desk. I know what we need. In play, and Barger pops out to third to Big Ben Williamson, 2 away. Nice job, Big Ben. He's the man. One of the best all-around players we have on the team, Big Ben Williamson. There he is. This is what we need. In play from Clement, and fouled out to first. A very fast inning there for the Mariners. And let's see if we can get things going now with the Mariner Moose. We're down by 4. Could this be the inning where we get 1 to 4 runs? Possibly. All right, here we go. I like this lineup right here. 0 for 1 with a K in the 8-hole. Second baseman, he's due for a single or a double, or maybe even a walk. Dylan Moore. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a run. Third baseman, Ben Williamson. He was the one that got the first hit of the game a few innings ago. Let's go, Big Ben. Love ya. And batting third, a guy that's been extremely hot, and if he continues to keep getting base knocks, again, he's going to be getting close to that 20 number. And anytime you can go 15 or 20 games in a row with a hit, you start to get into rare air. And JP has been fantastic for us in the last month. Let's go, JP. So again, if we could go Demo, Ben, JP, and then if we get to that point, then you got Polo and Julio and Cal after that. So this is a good part of the lineup. Again, we haven't been dropping bunts down, but again, I would hope, even if Demo drops a bunt down, that could be a good start, to be able to get things going. If Demo or JP drops the bunt down, depending on how many outs we have, just to kind of get it going. Because again, you drop a bunt down perfectly, it could lead to being a double rather than a single with a overthrow to first. People, pitchers and infielders, they freak out when someone drops a bunt down. Have you noticed that? Like in any game that you watch, as soon as a bunt gets dropped down, it's a good one. Everyone's trying to run full speed and barehand it, and then they end up throwing it to first. It goes way over the guy's head, and you just have to have that good, base awareness where you can turn a single into a double if you're just paying attention. Judah in the building, what's good? We're at 30. There we go. 10 more to get to 40, and we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Hopefully someone will be able to show some love to get us started. And due up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K. Second baseman, Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. First pitch, takes a strike looking on a four-seam fastball. Oh, 1 pitch, takes a strike swinging. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Come on, Demo. Bottom of the 5th, we're down by 4 runs, 5-1 Toronto. 0-2 pitch, low and away with a slider. Good eye by Demo. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. 1-2 pitch, four-seam fastball, low and away. Good eye. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maybe Demo can force a walk here. Come on, Dylan. You need good role players, to be able to step up. And, Dylan Moore, is like a utility player, like a Kike Hernandez for the Dodgers. He literally can play every position besides first and catcher. And again, when you can have guys like that are like the Swiss Army knife, like a Taysom Hill, like in the NFL, where you guy can play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, fullback, you name it, he can do it, punt returner, kick returner. It definitely gives you more value and gives you more confidence in that particular player. In play on the 2-2 pitch, grounds out to third, throw to first, got him. 1 away. Nothing for Demo yet, but he could still get a hit later in the matchup. We're going to need it. All right, next up, our stud third baseman, Big Ben Williamson. He was the one that got the first hit of the game when we were sitting at a goose egg a couple innings ago. Could he be the guy that starts the rally again? Let's go, Ben. First pitch, low and away with a splitter, good eye, 1-0 count. Come on, baby. We need that good luck wherever we can get it. Come on, Ben. Bottom of the 5th, 1 out. Nobody on. Gausman on the mound. Ben Williamson in the box. And it kind of feels like we're just going to have to wait for Gausman to go out unless we can rough him up here. And Big Ben Williamson flies out to center. Just a little bit more oomph in that swing, and that could have went yard. 2 away. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. Start the rally for us. Find a way to get walked, bunt, single. Wow. Can't believe we got robbed of that homer there. Dalton Varsho robbing Big Ben Williamson of a homer. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count to J.P. Crawford. But what a hell of a play there by Varsho, robbing Ben Williamson of a homer. That could have been huge for us. 1-0 pitch, 2 feet off the plate. with a four-seam fastball. 2-0 count from Gossman to JP. Come on, Crawdaddy. We need you, baby. Let's go, JP. And JP Crawford lines out to the shortstop. Throw to first. Got him. Rough start here for the Mariners. You know, we're not usually, this cold with the bats halfway through the game. Kind of reminds me of, games that we used to watch when we couldn't hit. But again, sometimes you just have to be patient for the right type of pitcher to get in from the bullpen. All right, let's go to the top of the sixth inning, and at least we know that Gaussman's almost done, so we can hope that the bats will come alive at some point here. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs, right fielder Nathan Lukes. Batting second, 0 for 2, catcher Tyler Heineman. And batting third, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder, 0 for 2, Jonathan Clase. Let's go Mariners. And we got Legumina coming in for Castillo, so hopefully Legumina will be able to hold it down. We're at 32 likes. 8 more to get to 40. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to that 40 number before the stream ends. It would be greatly appreciated. And a quick recap, if you're just tuning in here in the top of the sixth with the Blue Jays up 5-1, you're wondering, how the hell did we get to 5-1? Barger doubled to right after Bichette and Vlad got walked, first 2 batters of the game. He ends up getting a double to right, 2-0 Blue Jays. Then Clement in the third, single to right, Barger scored, 3-0 Blue Jays. Luke's homered to right center. Clement scored, 5-0 Blue Jays. And then Polo singled to right. Williamson scored, Crawford to third in the bottom of the third to make it 5-1. But we're still down 4. And hopefully the Blue Jays don't score any more the rest of the game and we can crawl back into this. All right, Legumina in the matchup now to Nathan Lucas. First pitch to Lucas, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Come on, Legumina. Don't fuck this up, Casey. Takes a strike looking on the line, 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch. Pitches outside with that sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Casey Legumina, who just came in for Luis Castillo. 1-2 pitch in play, and Lucas lines out to left to Randy Arozarena, 1 away. Next up, catcher Tyler Heineman. 0 for 2. Let's make it 0 for 3. And I don't know if it's just bad luck with these City Connect jerseys, but we haven't won a game in these jerseys all season. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I mean, I think they look pretty fresh as we have another fly out there from Heineman, 2 away. But if we end up losing this game, which I hope we don't, but if we do, I believe we're 0-4 in these jerseys. Maybe it's time to bring back the grays and just ditch these. First pitch from Legumina to Clase, takes a strike looking in the zone, 0-1 count. Because they obviously have all the records based on the jerseys that we wear. And I know that we haven't got a win in these jerseys yet in 2025. So hopefully this will change today. But we're going to need a rally. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, high and away. Clase 0-2 count from Legomina. 0-2 pitch, high and away with a four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs from Legomina to Clase, the former Seattle Mariner. Gossman's doing his job. We'll see if Clase can get something here. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1-2 pitch. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Legomino to Clase. I mean, I kind of like the way that they look. And down goes Clase. I like the color blue. I remember when I first saw the black pants, I thought they looked a little weird with the yellow stripe down the side. But, they've kind of grown on me, But again, for whatever reason, we can't win in these. Maybe it's just the opponent that we play. Maybe it's, Friday night games when they decide to use them and, everyone's too relaxed and maybe overconfident and whatnot. But at some point, we're going to win with these fucking jerseys, hopefully today. All right, well, at least Legomina doesn't do as bad as Luis Castillo. He's the one that dug us in this fucking hole. And again, pitching hasn't really been very good for the Mariners in 2025, but hitting has been through the roof. And speaking of hitting it through the roof, hopefully we can get something going here in the bottom of the 6th. We're running out of time. This is usually when we shine. The 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. Next up, 1 for 2 with an RBI, DHing Jorge Polanco. We need a homer. Batting second, 0 for 2. Don't swing at the first pitch and just end your at-bat. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 0 for 2, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh, who's due for a homer himself as well. Let's go, big dumper. Let's go, Cal. But we can't wait for Logan Gilbert and George Kirby to be back because, really, we only have one guy that we can trust. We got Brian Wu. We can't trust Castillo. We can't trust Bryce Miller. We can't trust Logan Evans. And we can't trust Emerson Hancock, And Hancock might actually be the guy that we can trust second to Wu, and that's scary. So let's get Logan Gilbert and George Kirby healthy because, the bats have been amazing, but at some point, you would assume the bats are going to slow down a little. And so we're going to need the pitching to be better. And at least the bullpen, has been, decent. We've fucked up a couple times, with a few guys, but at least Andres Munoz has, shown that he's the best closer in 2025. So at least we got that going for us in the pen. All right, bottom of the 6th, we're down 4. Let's see if we can get it to 5-2 by the end of this inning. Just chip away. It is possible that we have a monster 4-run inning, and we've done it before. But if we can just get it to 5-2, then 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, and just chip away, we can go that route as well. We don't got to be greedy and try to get it all back in one inning. First pitch is low and at the knees with a slider from Gossman, and this should be his last inning, I hope. 1-0 pitch. In play, grounded out to second, throw to first, 1 away. Down goes Polo. Next up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And, his numbers have been better, this year, if we're actually comparing it to his numbers, in his rookie season and in 2023 and 2024. But, still a little too overly aggressive most of the time. But he's mashing in May. 333, 407, 583, 991 OPS. In May, line drives 20%, fly balls 45%, grounders 33%. And then in March and April, line drives were only at 14%. Now he's at 20. Fly balls were at 35%. Now they're at 45. And not all of them are outs, right? And then grounders went from 50% to 33%. So he's finding ways to connect. And now if he could just not be so overly aggressive in the first 2 pitches, then we could really get that batting average up, and that would lead to more singles, doubles, stolen bags, and more runs scored. But, I guess we have to be patient with him. 0-2 pitch, low and away from Gossman to Julio with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gossman to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. We need you, baby. Trident's up. Let's go. Yeah, I still like the jerseys, and they're not going to get rid of them. Just got to find a way to use them, maybe not always at home on like a Friday night, because it seems, seems like it's just not good luck for us. But at some point we will win, hopefully tonight, but if not tonight, we will win with them. 1-2 pitch, splitter, fouled off, low and inside, tried to jam the hitter there in Julio. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. We're down by 4 runs. We need Julio to get a single here. Let's go. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. But I'm always monitoring all the stats and all the analytics. And again, remember, he didn't get his first home run last year until like 20 games in. So, if you're sitting around that 5-6 home run range, obviously that's like half the number of Cal Raleigh, who's at the top, with a few guys, at 12. But, I guess, beggars can't be choosers. But, Julio is super streaky. He's either going to be really, really on or really, really off. But he has been better in May compared to March and April. And once we go into the summer months, it usually heats up even more. And there we go. You talk about a single. Julio's like, you know what? You're right, O-Dog. I do need to get a single. There it is. Julio Rodriguez singled to right. Nice job, J-Rod. Got to talk nice about him, right? Nice job, Julio. Trident's up. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And if there was ever a time that we needed, this right here, Trident's up and a 2-run jack, fucking right now to get this game to 5-3. Let's go, Cal Raleigh. We'll take anything. Single, double, triple, hit by a pitch, walk. But, if we can get a 2-run jack right here and get it to 5-3, not only will that lift, Cal's spirits, it'll lift our spirits as well, knowing that we're chipping away. Come on, Cal. Use that torpedo bat, baby. First pitch, 4-seam fastball, 3 feet off the plate, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Blue Jays. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line with a 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour from Gossman. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Blue Jays. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. 7 more likes to 40. We're still waiting for our first dono, and we're almost 2 hours in. Show some love for your boy. Got bills to pay. It'd be greatly appreciated. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gossman to big dumper. Julio safe at first. But I do like the color of the City Connects. Pitches low and away to Cal Raleigh. 3 balls and 1 strike. They definitely remind me of the jerseys that the Mariners wore when I was a kid. That type of color scheme in like the late 80s, early 90s. Even though the font obviously is different on the jersey. But it's a nice shade of blue with that yellow. Pops. Looks good. I wouldn't mind getting a City Connect Cal Raleigh jersey. I definitely would rock that. I've seen them in person on some fans at games, and they look better in person than they do on TV. And they look great on TV. Bottom of the 6th, runner at first with 1 out, 5-1 Blue Jays. Gossman on the mound, wheeling and dealing. Big dumper in the box. Takes a strike swinging with that splitter. And Cal reach on an infield single to third, Raleigh to second. There we go. Back-to-back hits there for Julio and Cal. That's exactly what we needed. There we go. Nice job, Julio. Nice job, Cal. Way to be. Next up, could this be the guy that ends up being the unsung hero today? A guy that's been kind of cold since the Tiger series? Randy Arozarena. 1 for 2. If you go yard here for the 3-run blast, that could get us right back where we need to be. And now we've seen Rowdy Tellez do it against the A's. Once the bullpen came in, he had a 3-run blast. Randy, is it your turn? Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, baby. First pitch, low and away, 1-0 count to Randy Arozarena. Good eye there. Let's go. 228 average, 5 homers, 18 ribbies, OPS of 794, and a very streaky hitter like Julio Rodriguez. When Randy is on, he's really on, but when he's off, he's really off, and sometimes that will lead to lackadaisical play on defense as well, where he's kind of lollygagging in left field and not really giving a full effort. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging, now behind in the count, 1-2. Gossman on the mound, Arozarena in the box. Runners at first and second, Julio and Cal. We got to be able to get something in this inning, even if it's just a run. You know, to get it to 5-2, we need to chip away. At least one run every inning the rest of the way. Pitch is low and away with the splitter. Good eye by Randy. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second, Julio and Cal with 1 out. Come on, Randy. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Can never count us out. But again, that magic number is like 5. If we get down by any more than that, then even with our electric bats, it may be too much. But thankfully, we ended up chipping into the lead, just like we did in that Athletics matchup when we were down 5-0, got it to 5-1. Rowdy came up after the starter went out. Here we go. You got to talk it into existence, baby. Randy singles to center. Julio scores. Cal the second. 5-2 Blue Jays. Here we go. Here we go. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. There we go, Captain. Finally, we get someone to show some love and support. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with little Cactus Jack. We're at 5, 95 to go. Thank you so much. Let me know what you want to do photo-wise, and I got you. There we go. You just got to be able to be patient, which is not usually something that a Mariner fan, is good at. But now that we're a good hitting team, and Gossman, that might be it for him. Yep, they're going to pull him now. So now if we end up getting someone shitty from their bullpen, Rowdy could end up hitting a 3-run blast right here and tie the game up. Let's look at Gossman's stats here as he exits finally. All right, let's see his final stat line. So 5.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, 99 pitches, 64 strikes, ERA of 3.77. And then they're going to bring in Little, who's got an ERA of 2.20. So we'll see how that will work out for the Blue Jays. But we still got runners at first and second, and Rowdy is up with only 1 out. Let's go, Rowdy. 3-run blast again, just like you did against the Athletics. Tie this game up 5-5. Because if we end up tying the game up right here with that momentum, we're going to win the game. That's the way the Mariners operate. It's like we might start a little slow, but once we end up, getting our rhythm and getting that Uncle Mo and that momentum going, there's no stopping us. And again, once we get to that point, we start pouring it on. And then by the time you look up at the scoreboard a couple innings later, instead of being up 5-0, Blue Jay fans, you might be down 7-5. So we'll see how it goes here. Oh, it's all good, my guy. You'll pull away in the second half. And now they're bringing in Donovan Solano for Rowdy Tellez. Is that a good decision? See, every time Dan Wilson makes these like weird ass moves, obviously it's based off left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, and so he makes those moves, right? So obviously, if a lefty's coming in, you don't want Rowdy to hit. But let's be real. Rowdy could probably still get a hit going against a lefty rather than bringing in Donovan Solano. It's like when Polo would be 3 for 4 and they would bring in Mitch Garver. And we were like, no. But then Mitch Garver would get like an RBI single and they were like, yeah, it worked. But we'll find out if Dan Wilson knows something that we don't know besides just going for a right-handed batter. But hopefully Donovan Solano can make it happen. I just don't believe in that type of scheme. First pitch to Solano, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. If a guy is a good hitter, he can hit against left-handed pitching or right-handed pitching. It shouldn't fucking matter, but again, that is the time where you see these managers look to the analytics and the statistics. But again, if you end up putting in a right-handed batter that stinks, you think that's going to be better than a guy that's a left on left that is a better hitter that actually ended up hitting a 3-run blast against the Athletics just a couple days ago? Takes a strike, swinging low and away, behind in the count now 0-2. 0-2 pitch, low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Donovan Solano. I don't think I would have had Donovan Solano here. What about Leo Rivas instead? That would be more of an acceptable person. And then a wasted at bat. Solano strikes out swinging. We could have had Rowdy Tellez, and maybe he gets out as well, but who cares? It gives you a better chance. And if you're going to bring someone in, bring in Leo Rivas, not fucking Donovan Solano. Come on, Dan Wilson, you fucking idiot. Now we got 2 away. You don't want to waste opportunities. I mean, literally our worst hitter. At least put in Mitch Garver, Leo Rivas, anybody but fucking Donovan Solano. There shouldn't be any scenario where it's him. Hell, Donovan Solano should be in fucking AAA. Next up, Leody Taveras. I mean, like I said, out of all the times where these managers make these, substitutions, how often does the person actually get a hit? Really? Maybe 30% of the time or 20% of the time? We've gotten kind of lucky when Garver has come in for Polo and it worked, most of the time, but how many times does it not work? A lot. All right. Leody Taveras in the box, Little on the mound. First pitch takes a strike looking, 0-1 count from Little to Taveras. Come on, Leody. 0-1 pitch, low and inside with the knuckle curve. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leody Taveras. Come on, Leody, we need you. Bottom of the 6th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Would have really liked to see Rowdy have a chance against a left-handed pitcher. But again, I don't know when baseball will change that particular, mindset. Oh, if a lefty's coming in, if we have a really good left-handed hitter, or even if not, in play, yes, there we go. Leody doubles to left. Raleigh scores. Randy Arozarena to third. And Leody Taveras looking like a Victor Robles from last year. And again, the Rangers gave up on him. We said, fuck it, we'll take him. And he's been cashing in. 2 games, 2 big hits, helping us come back and possibly win. Nice job, Leody. I just really would have liked to see what Rowdy would have done, then Leody. But Leody makes it happen. 5-3 Blue Jays, and we're rallying, baby. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, and if Dylan Moore can get an RBI here, it'll be 5-4 or 5-5. First pitch, high and inside with a cutter, 1-0 count. The electricity with this team is unbelievable. Just don't like that decision of Solano. Bring in Garver, bring in Leo Rivas. Don't bring in your worst fucking hitter on the team. But luckily, we only had 1 out, not 2 at the time. So we were able to get to that next batter, Leody Taveras, and what a good fit for our team. And sometimes someone else's garbage can turn into someone else's treasure. And he definitely is looking good. And maybe this will be our right fielder for the rest of the year until Victor Robles comes back in 2 to 3 months. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Little to Demo. We're rallying, baby. We were down 5-0. Now it's 5-3. Let's go, baby. Knuckle curve, takes a strike looking in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Demo. Come on, Dylan. You are typically a pretty reliable hitter. This would be great if we could just get an RBI single. Obviously, an RBI double would make it 5-5, but we've already scored a couple, so we don't need to be greedy. He probably won't get anything here. And Demo strikes out. Damn it. But at least we ended up, chipping away, like I mentioned. So sometimes you're not going to get it all back in 1 inning, but that was a good start. I don't like the substitution for Rowdy, left on left pitcher, and let's go Donovan Solano. That was a mistake, but at least we only had 1 out at that point. Leody Taveras ends up making the inning worthwhile, And now we're only down 2 runs, and we have a very good chance of coming back and winning this game, especially with Gossman out of the game already. Let's go. Next up for the Blue Jays, 2 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, Bo Bichette. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, robbing Ben Williamson of a homer, center fielder Dalton Varsho. Let's go Mariners. And let's see what we're doing in the pen. Is it still going to be Legomina? They haven't shown anything else, so maybe Legomina will go again. But, you know, if we didn't get, if Luis Castillo wasn't so shitty on the mound, we wouldn't be down by this much. Maybe the game would be tied right now. But, you know, this is just how it's going to be until we get Logan Gilbert and George Kirby back. Nice job, Leote. You the man. Coming up big with big RBIs in his first 2 games in a Seattle Mariner uniform. You're going to become one of the Mariner favorites sooner than later. Let's go, especially if you're helping us win. Oh, Donovan Solano, what is he doing on our team? And there's a few guys in AAA that are getting closer to being ready. So, you know, at some point, you know, sending a couple players that aren't good down and bringing up a couple AAA guys could be really what this team needs. First pitch from Legomina to Bo Bichette, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. So Legomina coming in for his second inning here, trying to stretch the bullpen as much as we can. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone with a sinker, 93 miles an hour by Casey Legomina. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 7th. Mariners are only down by 2 now instead of being down by 5. It was 5-0 at one point. Now it's 5-3. And we still got a couple more innings to catch up or take the lead. In play on the 1-1 pitch. Grounded out to the shortstop. JP, throw to first. Got him. 1 away. Next up, first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Vlad. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count. And Vladdy strikes out swinging, baby. 3 pitches. See you later. We love that. 2 away. Next up, center fielder Dalton Varsho, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. But you always have to be careful when you see a player as good as like Bo Bichette, you know, or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. If they do go like 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 in a game, you're almost guaranteed the next game after that slump game, you know, he'll end up having like, you know, 2 or 3 hits. So nice that Vladdy's struggling today, but, you know, before this series is up, he'll probably have a couple hits either tomorrow or on Sunday. But we'll take it if he's struggling here. I mean, they already are up by 2. We don't need him to pour it on and make it worse. First pitch to Varsho. Takes a strike looking in the zone on the line. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Slider inside at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Varsho. Top of the 7th with nobody on with 2 outs. Mariners with a rally. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging with a sweeper. 87. 82 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Legomina to Varsho. And Varsho strikes out swinging. There we go, baby. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 7th, 1 for 2 with a run, third baseman Ben Williamson. Batting second, 1 for 3, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 1 for 3 with an RBI, DHing Jorge Polanco. Let's go Mariners. Let's go, baby. All right, we got 3 innings, so we can get 1 run this inning in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and then we try to get 1 in the 9th, unless we can end up, finding a way to score 2 runs or more in a single inning, which is doable. Getting 2 to 5 runs in an inning, the Mariners can do it, and we've proven that we can do it. So, kind of feels like even though we're down 2 runs, it's almost inevitable that we're going to catch up, especially if pitching is a little bit more shaky with their bullpen. We'll definitely take advantage of that. Ben Williamson, J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco. I would like to see a bunt drop down by somebody in these last 3 innings. Let's go, M's. Let's go, baby. Try to hit up. Let's go. Someone's got to be that calming presence, on YouTube for the Mariners. Even when things look a little bleak and things look low, you never know when that explosion of hits, runs, or home runs is going to happen. And, we've proven that we can come down even by the craziest number, where it just looks like it's fucking over, because we've seen this scenario in the past. But remember, this is the best team that we've had since 2001. It's been 24 years that we've been this good as a hitting ball club. So anything is possible when you can hit. Now, I wish the pitching was better, for starters and bullpen, but when you end up being top 3, top 4 hitting team, it's a give and a take, right? And down goes Ben Williamson with a strike swinging, and a strike looking. 2 of them are out of the zone. I would have liked to seen a little bit more patience there out of Big Ben. 1 away. Come on, Ben. Next up is J.P. Crawford, 1 for 3. Wonder if J.P. will drop a bunt down. Even getting a single or taking a walk would be great here. Bottom of the 7th with 1 out. First pitch fouled off with the sinker. 0-1 count from Little to Crawford. Come on, J.P. Come on, baby. Let's go, JP. Bottom of the 7th. Nobody on. 1 out. We're only down by 2. We were down by 5. Anything is possible with this team. And I think really the big difference between 2025 and every other year in the last 5 years is that we believe, and the players believe, that we can get it done in play. And Crawford grounds out to third, throw to first, 2 away. Like, no matter how bad it looks, the players believe. It's not like they're checked out mentally and they're like, oh, what club am I going to, or what am I going to have for dinner? And you could definitely tell body language wise when players are checked out and they're just waiting for the game to end. And you haven't really seen too many players with negative body language this year, which is good for us, the fans, as well as the team. Next up, Jorge Polanco. First pitch to Polo. Inside, tries to jam him with a cutter. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with a sinker in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Little to Polo. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. 2 balls and 1 strike from Little to Polo. Come on, Polo. Come on, Mariners. Pitch is high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Little to Jorge Polanco. Even if Polo takes a walk, we have proven that we can get on a rally with 2 outs. In years past, we were fucked when it was 2 outs. Like, you just knew out number 3 was just in a matter of time. But, it's nice to be able to see this type of, Mariner team in 2025, since it has been 24 years that we've been this good as of a hitting ball club. No game is out of reach for us in 2025. Takes a strike looking with that cutter. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. yeah, and also we've won 9 consecutive series in a row. The last time we did that was in 2001. So, even if we lose the first game, we win the last 2. We win the first 2, maybe lose the rubber match at the end. But yeah, we typically don't really lose back-to-back games, and we've won 9 consecutive series in a row. And down goes Polo. So now we're going to have to try to get 1 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th, and then maybe try to win 6-5 in extras. But, the last time that we had something like that, and we won 15 straight series in 2001, I don't think we're going to get to that point, but I would love to be able to win 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays and 2 out of 3 against the Yankees here at T-Mobile. 2 tough series, but Yankees will be much tougher than these Blue Jays. But again, if pitching isn't good, we're going to have to, rally like we have. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th inning and see who's up next for the Blue Jays. We cannot give up any more runs if we want to win this. Maybe maximum we could give up is 1 the rest of the way. But if we want to win, we want to give up none. We already had Castillo do his, dirty work. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K in the top of the 8th, DHing George Springer. Batting second, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, third baseman Addison Barger. And batting third, second baseman Ernie Clement. Let's go Mariners. I mean, even beating you, Judah, in Boston, that was the first time that we won 2 out of 3 in 11 years. So it shows that, even though we might have had some pretty good players, it wasn't really a good fit. And it also shows that, yeah, you can have top 3 pitching, but if your hitting is garbage, and you're the number 1 strikeout team, and the crazy stat was that, we made the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years when we ended up bringing up Kirby and Cal and Julio in 2022, right? And Cal hit the homer against the Athletics, and we ended up making the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. But in the last 2 years, we've only missed the playoffs, by a game each year, and with hitting being that bad. So just imagine if we can get the pitching to be top 10 and the hitting is top 3, top 4, how many more wins that could lead to. Instead of winning 88 to 90, it could end up being 90 to 100. But again, we just don't really know, how the health of the pitchers are going to be with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby when they come back. But hopefully it'll be better than what we're dealing with right now, because right now it's we got 1 reliable pitcher in Brian Wu and 4 guys that aren't reliable. Luis Castillo, not reliable. Logan Evans, not reliable. Bryce Miller, not reliable. Emerson Hancock, he might be the second most reliable pitcher, and his ERA was fucking 81 when he gave up 6 runs in his first start when we sent him down to AAA, and now he's trying to get that down to the 4-5 range. But, I thought Luis was reliable until this game, and now I got to put him in the not reliable category with Bryce Miller. Now we got Colin Snyder in the matchup here against Springer. Takes a strike swinging outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Snyder to Springer. 1-2 pitch. Pitches low and away with the sweeper from Snyder. 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the 8th. We're down by 2 runs. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. At the knees. Tries to jam the hitter with a sweeper. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to George Springer. Yeah, but the thing is that we're already the number 1 injured team in baseball with the Braves, but it hasn't affected us. No Ryan Bliss, no Victor Robles, no Logan Gilbert, no George Kirby. We just got Brash and Taylor back, and now we still don't have Luke Raley. Dylan Moore was out for 10 to 15 games, or 10 to 15 days, excuse me. So it's we've already had a lot of fucking injuries already. But again, the 2 teams are kind of going in different directions between us and the Braves. But we can't afford to have Wu go down. There we go. Little line drive, throw to first. There we go. Down goes Springer, 1 away. Plus, we have the number 1 farm system in AAA. And as far as single A, high A, double A, triple A, we are the number 1 farm team in baseball. So when you have injuries, that helps. Next up, third baseman Addison Barger. Just imagine if Polo, never got hurt and had to move to DH, we would have maybe not brought up Ben Williamson. And Barger doubles to right on the first pitch with the cutter. Come on, Snyder. Next up is Ernie Clement. Addison Barger having himself a game. First pitch from Snyder to Clement. Takes a strike swinging outside of the zone. 0-1 count. Pitches outside with a strike swinging. Behind the count now 0-2 from Snyder to Clement. But the thing is like out of everyone that's playing well, anyone that is a true fan of the Mariners, I don't really see any like slumps, that are going to happen with a lot of these guys. It's all about, being a little bit more patient in the box for everyone besides Julio, changing, maybe your batting stance or your bat. Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena with the torpedo bat, Polo with his stance this year. Obviously guys like Julio and Randy have been really streaky. And if once they catch up to everyone else, we're going to be in business. And Clement strikes out swinging. There we go. 2 away. Down goes Ernie. Next up, right fielder Nathan Lucas. Top of the 8th with a runner at second with 2 outs. Mariners down by 2. 1 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs by Nathan Lucas. First pitch to Lucas, tries to jam him inside with a 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Snyder. 0-1 count. And we got WWE Backlash 2025 tomorrow on stream. Starts at 4 p.m. Pacific. Mariner game is on, late. So right when the WWE PLE event is about to end, the Mariner game will start. So I'll do coverage on both. But the WWE PLE Backlash will be the stream for tomorrow. And then we'll get back to doing the Mariners on Sunday for the rubber match, as well as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when we go against the Yankees and Aaron Judge. Top of the 8th with a runner at second with 2 outs. 5-3 Blue Jays. 0-2 pitch from Snyder to Lucas, incoming. Pitch is low and at the knees with the sweeper. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs from Snyder to Lucas. One-two pitch. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Lucas. We got to 40. Nice job. Appreciate you, Captain. 10 more to get to 50. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Fouled off with that sweeper. 83 miles an hour by Colin Snyder. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. We're down by 2. We cannot let them score any more if we want to actually think about winning this game or tying this game up. We got this inning to get 1 or 2, and then obviously same thing goes in the 9th, 1 or 2, and if we just get 1 and 1 and we tie it up 5-5, I know we can win 6-5 and 10 or 11. And takes a strike swinging. See ya! Nathan Lucas, goodbye! Nice job by our bullpen. And again, if it wasn't for such a poor performance out of Castillo giving up 5, if he would have only given up 3 or less like he typically does, then we would be in business right now, tied up at 3. But again, it's not always going to, be easy for the Seattle Mariners. All right, let's see who's up next here at the bottom of the 8th. We have 2 chances to get 2 runs. Let's try to go and get at least 1 here. Next up, 1 for 3 and a run. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. We would love, for this to happen at some point, whether it's at this at-bat or in extras, but we need this. Let's go Julio. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run. We would love this to happen as well. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Trident's up. And batting third, a guy that's streaky but has been good today. 2 for 3 with an RBI, left fielder Randy Arozarena. So we got Julio, We got Cal. We got Randy. Let's go, baby. Let's try to get at least one right here. So that way, when we get to the 9th, it'll be somewhere in this range, depending on how far this inning goes. Where we'll have Rowdy. Well, actually, he got substituted for Solano, so we won't have Rowdy. We'll have Leote, we'll have Demo, and we'll have Williamson, unless they substitute someone. Maybe they'll put in Leo Rivas for Demo, maybe. But again, if we can get Leote, Leo Rivas, and Ben Williamson, in the 9th, I feel pretty good about that. So we'll see where it goes. But, I don't want to see Donovan Solano, because not only did you bring him in too early for Rowdy because it was a left-handed pitcher, then we might have to see him again. And I don't know if you guys have confidence in Donovan Solano. I mean, he's been better than in the first 15 or 20 games. But, I mean, the most that you can get out of Solano is 1 hit a game, even if he starts the game from the beginning. He's only going to go 1 for 5 or 1 for 4 at his best. So we'll see. I don't feel the same kind of confidence when we have Mitch Garver pitch hit for Polo, which is normally no, and then he makes it happen. But when Solano goes in, it's no, and it stays no most of the time. So, but hopefully Julio can get it done here. Julio definitely is fast enough to bunt, but he won't. Again, if it was anybody, JP, Polo, Randy, Demo, Leo Rivas, Williamson, but Julio's not a guy that really bunts. First pitch takes a strike swinging, of course. 4-seam fastball, high and in the zone, 0-1 count. But if Julio were to incorporate a bunt, it would be great. Because again, defenses aren't coached up for bunting. And again, everyone tries to run full speed, barehanded, and throw to first, and normally the throw is way off, or there's no throw at all. Takes another strike swinging. Come on, Julio. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Now, Yimi Garcia on the mound. Rodriguez in the box. I agree, Anna. Pitch is low and in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Yimi Garcia to Julio Rodriguez. 230 average, 6 homers, 17 ribbies. The homers and ribbies aren't too bad, at this point in the season, since it took him 20 plus games to get his first one last year when we were a shitty hitting team, but now we're one of the top 3 hitting teams in baseball. But he definitely is behind the 8 ball to everyone else. But he has, we'll give him this. He is actually having a good May compared to March and April where he wasn't good. So, bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Blue Jays. Nobody on with no outs. Yimi Garcia on the mound, on the bump. Julio in the box. Come on, J-Rod. In play. And there we go. Like I said, Julio is having a good May, and he does it again. He's finding contact, and he's not getting a lot of strikeouts anymore. Remember, Julio was the king of strikeouts back in the day with pretty much everyone on the Seattle Mariners. But in 2025, we're not striking out nearly as much as we did in the past. We don't really strike out at all, really, if you think about it. And that's a good sign. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Nice job, Julio, to get that rally going. Let's see with Julio if Cal can back it up here. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, low and at the knees. 1 ball and no strikes from Yimi Garcia to Cal Raleigh. And Yimi is very wild. So, again, we could definitely tie the game up this inning. It wouldn't be shocking. And, again, the Julio's batting average will slowly go from, 220 to 230 to 240 to 250. And then at some point in June to August, hopefully it'll be 280 to 300. And that's kind of typically the progression for Julio. As the warmer months start to come up, that batting average and everything starts to go up as well. So, but again, if he can start it in May rather than starting it in June, that will benefit not only him, but the Seattle Mariners and the fan base. And now you're going to have a mound visit, which won't help because Yimi is all over the place. Hey, Jimmy. Yimi Jimmy Garcia. All right, mound visit is done. And the mound visit didn't work because Garcia on the next pitch throws 10 feet off the plate to Cal Raleigh. 2-0 count. I like the way that this game is going. I like that. It's crazy like how good your team could be doing, in the first 6 innings. And then as soon as your starter goes out, then everything goes all to hell. And it happens to every team in baseball. Pitch another 5 feet off the plate, 20 feet off the plate. 3-0 count from Garcia to Big Dumper. I like this, baby. We might take the lead in the 8th inning. Let's go. Cal doesn't even need to swing. And there it is, a 4-pitch walk. Garcia looking like shit. Thank you. Runners at first and second with no outs. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. This might end up being one of those innings where we don't even need to swing, and then we have bases loaded, and then we just bring in a free runner from third, depending on how long they decide to go with Garcia. I mean, I imagine at some point if it gets to 5-4, they might pull him. But, I mean, with one swing, it could end up being 6-5 Mariners or 5-5 Mariners. So, but at this point, Garcia, he definitely looks like Luis Castillo at the beginning of the game. He can't hit the strike zone. Let him know, Judah. Let's get to 50, and we're at 5 on the dono train. 95 to go. First pitch low and hit the zone. With a curveball, 1-0 count from Garcia to Randy Arozarena. 234 average, 5 homers, 19 ribbies. Another guy, there we go. And wild pitch, Cal Raleigh. I like that. Cal to second, Julio to third. And again, when a guy is all over the place, right, that's a great opportunity for the Mariners, baby. Let's go. 2-0 count and a wild pitch. Is it my birthday? Let's go. Bottom of the 8th, runners at second and third with no outs. And again, if we're just patient here, we may not even need to swing, and we can tie this game up 5-5 with the next couple batters. Because obviously Garcia is all over the place. And another pitch. Sweeper outside of the zone. Smart. Don't swing. Why swing and give them a chance? 3-0 count. Randy's going to get on with a walk. He won't swing. At least I know with Randy, even if you got the green light, at 3-0 and you can swing for the moon, this guy is not even hitting anywhere in the strike zone. So you're going to have to swing at a pitch that's going to be more than likely low and away. But he finally ends up getting a strike. Sinker in the zone, 96 miles an hour, 3 balls and 1 strike. But that was a good pitch not to swing at. Come on, Randy. Don't get baited to swing here. We don't want to get any outs here. This is our chance to come back and win this game. And we only have 2 innings left here. And there it is. You might be able to get 1 strike, right? You might be able to get 1. But if the hitter is patient, chances are that next pitch will be a ball 90% of the time. And it was. Bases loaded. And, oh, God, Donovan Solano. Don't swing, Donovan. All right, don't swing. I mean, you can't even hit, even if you could, right? Just don't swing, and let's bring in a freebie from third, Julio Rodriguez, and he can come in. Come on, Donovan, don't swing. Here we go. We got to talk this into existence, and it's working. And remember, we were down 5-0. We were down 5-0 to the A's. We ended up coming back and winning. We're 5-0 down in this game, no problem. And Miles Mastrobuoni is coming in for Solano. Thank God, Dan Wilson. I was about to send you a text message. And it's not like Miles Mastrobuoni is going to be, the most reliable guy, but more reliable than Donovan Solano. I like it. Here we go. And Miles doesn't have to swing. I would like to be also able to see Leo Rivas. Rivas is a guy that should be playing every day. And it's kind of sad that he's got to be kind of like our 6th man. But sometimes he's not even our 6th man. Sometimes he doesn't even fucking play. And he's good at defense and offense. Leo should be playing every day. But here we go. Bottom of the 8th with no outs. And we got bases loaded. Now we got Rivas at first. Pinch running. Here we go. So now it's all coming together. Rivas is coming in to run for Arozarena. And that's a smart move there. And then you got Mastrobuoni hitting for Solano. So you got Julio at third, you got Cal at second, you got Rivas pinch running for Randy, smart, and now we got Miles Mastrobuoni in for Solano, smart. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a sweeper, 0-1 count. Garcia finally hitting a strike in his first pitch. But how many strikes can he throw? Pitches low and at the knees with a sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike. At this point, I would just say don't swing. Let him prove that he can strike you out with 3 strikes. I don't think he can. I'll take a freebie to go to 5-4 and then 5-5 rather than, trying to be a hero and then, doing something stupid and then all of a sudden we go from no outs to 2 outs. Pitches outside with the sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike from Garcia to Mastroboni. There we go. Pitches outside, 4-seam fastball, 3 balls and 1 strike. Here we go, baby. We don't even need to swing, and we're going to get a freebie here. And then Dan Wilson is instructed to the hitters, don't swing. They're going to continue to have Garcia out there, let them, him be the reason that the Blue Jays lose. Garcia on the mound, Mastroboni in the box, pinch hitting for Donovan Solano. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded, no outs. We're down by 2 runs. We were down 5-0, and we're hopefully in a pitch or 2 here. We're able to get a freebie to come in from third, which would be Julio. Julio at third, Cal at second, and Leo Rivas pinch running for Randy Arozarena as Blue Jay fans are covering their eyes. Come on, Mariners. Fans are standing now. Don't swing. And a force out at home. Why did you swing, Mastroboni? Ah, golly. He didn't need to do that. Fielder's choice with the runner out. Rodriguez out at home, 1 away. He should have not swung there. Next up is Leody Taveras. We got bases loaded now with 1 out. First pitch, strike swinging on a curve. Why are you swinging? 0-1 count. Like, have we not just watched what Garcia has done? Bases loaded with no outs, and all of a sudden now we're swinging? What are we doing? 0-1 pitch, sweeper outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And we know that Taveras has been good for us in his first 2 games. He's been able to get RBIs, and he's 1 for 3 today with a home run and 10 RBIs. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Garcia to Taveras. Come on, Mariners. Don't lose it here. Don't take it, for granted, this opportunity with bases loaded, no outs, where we could have tied the game up or at least got it to 5-4 at the very, very least. And then get 1 run in the 9th. But, we're in position here with a good base knock. We could take the lead or at least tie it. And Taveras strikes out swinging. Holy hell. 2 away. What the hell is going on here? Down goes Leody. And who's going to be up next? Is it going to be Dylan Moore? Somebody's got to come up big. We cannot have bases loaded, no outs in the 8th, and then get nothing. 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, Dylan Moore. First pitch, fouled off with a sinker. If he just doesn't swing, it's a ball. Like, what happened here? All of a sudden, Dan Wilson gave him the green light to swing? Hell is going on here? Don't let the Blue Jays come back in this after having bases loaded, no outs with Garcia. Holy shit. Oh. 0-1 pitch. Pitches outside with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Garcia to Moore. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes. And we're at 5 on the dono train, 95 to go. 284 average, 6 homers, 11 ribbies. But he's got 2 strikeouts and a ground out here today. Come on, Demo. I know you can do it. Garcia on the mound, Demo in the box. And takes a strike looking. That should have been called ball. No way in hell that was in the zone. What is this ump looking at? Now all the momentum shifting to the Blue Jays. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs with bases loaded. If we have any chance of trying to come back, we have to get at least 1 run here. We can't just have bases loaded, no outs, and come up with nothing. The Blue Jays will win. That fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We could still end up getting, a run or 2 in the 9th, but, It's like everything is right in front of you and like on a silver platter. Like, what else do you need? Pitches inside with the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should be 3-1 count, not 2-2 count. Come on, Dylan. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded, 2 outs. We were down 5-0. Now it's 5-3. And with 1 swing, Dylan Moore can tie this game up. Come on, Dylan. Fuck. And down goes Dylan Moore. Fucking A, dude. How do you get bases loaded with no outs and then all of a sudden all your guys start swinging? If we just would have been patient and not swung on anything, we would have been probably minimum 5-4, maybe 5-5. Oh, man, that was brutal. And again, you can afford to have bases loaded and not come up with anything in like the first, second, or third inning, but you cannot afford to have that happen in the fucking 8th inning. And we might have just lost the game right there based on bad decisions by the batters there in the box. Still 1 more inning to go, and if we can hold them to 5-3, we'll have a chance to get 2 runs, but we definitely squandered a big fucking opportunity of trying to come back and win game 1. Brutal. Brutal. Especially when the pitcher cannot hit the strike zone and you're helping him out by swinging. Stupid. Next up, 0 for 3, catcher Tyler Heineman. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, the former Seattle Mariner left fielder Jonathan Clase. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a run and a base on ball, shortstop Bo Bichette. Let's go Mariners. It's not over yet. I don't think it's really a Mariner thing. I mean, we don't strike out anymore. We were the number 1 strikeout team in baseball. We had one of the lowest team batting percentages, but we're a good hitting team now. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation that happened late in the game, not early in the game. I mean, let's be real. That's like probably the first time that's actually happened to the Mariners in 2025. You know, we haven't had that situation happen to us late in the game at all. That's the first time. So, and hopefully that'll be the last time that we see a situation like that happen where we get nothing. So, but again, we still have the 9th inning. So as long as we don't give up anything here, the Mariners have a chance to be able to get 2 runs, in the 9th, or 3 to win. Even though it sounds like unbelievable, but we've done it before. We were down 5-0 to the Astros and scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings. It really just depends on how shitty the bullpen is for Toronto and if our bats can come alive. But we definitely missed an opportunity for sure. Heineman, Clase, Bichette. First pitch from Troy Taylor to Heineman, and Taylor got called up from AAA. And last couple outings, he hasn't been good. His ERA is fucking 12. So hopefully this works out with Troy Taylor. And we got Trent Thornton with an injury, and he was our worst player besides Donovan Solano. So at least we have him on the injured list. But Troy has not looked good. He looked good at the end of last year, but this year he looks shitty. And he might not be ready. So we'll see what we get. And it's another guy that throws straight heat, right? But sometimes can't find location. And Brian Wu is like that. Castillo's like that. Miller's like that. George Kirby is about location. And Logan Gilbert does about everything, on a good to elite level. And, he can find location a lot better than some of these other guys. In play on an 0-1 pitch and a single for Heineman. Holy fuck. Heineman didn't even run hard to first base. Why was that not caught by Leody Taveras? What the fuck is going on here? Now we need Jonathan Clase, a little slow dribbler, up to the middle, and maybe we can get a double play by JP here or Rivas. Bunted foul. At least someone's going for a fucking bunt, and it's not the Mariners. 0-1 count from Clase with the bunt attempt. Where the hell is Leody Taveras right there? Jesus Yeah, but again, we fucked all that up. After we had bases loaded, no outs, we should have just not swung at all, and we would have been able to get at least a run or two in. But we'll learn from that experience, hopefully. And again, normally when we have bases loaded and we get nothing with no outs, it usually happens in the first 3 innings, not in the 8th. In play, let's get that double play, and Clase sacrifice bunt to third. I'm telling you, bunts work. Hide him into second, 1 away. Next up, shortstop Bo Bichette. First pitch, low and away with a slider from Troy Taylor to Bichette, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Pitch is outside. High and away with a sinker. 2 balls and no strikes from Taylor to Bichette. And again, it's like, when you get guys that throw heat, it's great when they're on, but when they're not and they try to throw through the batter and they can't hit the zone, it ends up getting really fucking ugly. Like right here with Troy Taylor, he is not ready. He needs to go back to AAA. You are not ready, my guy. 3-0 pitch. Finally hits the zone like Garcia did. Sinker in the low and away corner. 3 balls and 1 strike from Taylor to Bichette. We cannot afford for them to score another run. We have to get out of this inning unscathed, and still no guarantee that we get 2 runs in the 9th, but we'll see. We've been able to battle back in crazy circumstances many, many times. And that's a walk. Come on, Taylor. Runners at first and second with 1 out now. Next up is first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0 for 3 with a run, base on ball, and a K. We need to get Vlad out. Come on, baby. Gotta find a way. Well, some of them got hurt, like Santos, and Taylor. There was like expectations there, but they ended up getting hurt or they're not ready. So it's like in play, and Guerrero finally getting his first hit of the night. Now you got bases loaded with 1 out. Not good. And again, Troy Taylor is not ready, period. It's like you trust Matt Brash, you trust Gabe Spire, you trust Andres Munoz, but unfortunately we can't have those 3 guys pitch every single game, and you got all the others, and a lot of the others are not good. It's like starting pitching is not good, besides Brian Wu. Bullpen, not good, unless you're talking about Brash, Gabe Spire, or Munoz. Like, really, the only one that's been lights out all year is Munoz. And even, Brash and Gabe have been shaky at times, but they're more trustworthy than everyone else. Next up is Dalton Varsho. Takes a ball outside of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded with 1 out. And again, if Troy pitches like he has, this one will be over. Because, again, they're going to get it to 6-3, 7-3, 8-3, and we're not going to score 4 or 5 runs. We might be able to score 1 or 2 in the 9th, but we're not going to be able to score 3 or more. I'll tell you that. Top of the 9th, bases loaded with 1 out. And we shouldn't have brought in Troy Taylor. He's not ready. ERA of fucking 12. Should have spent more money on guys in the bullpen than spending money on Miles Mastrobuoni and Donovan Solano in the offseason. That would have been smart, but a lot of teams, they don't really beef up the bullpen like they should. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Taylor to Varsho. And then when your bullpen is shaky and when you have injuries, then it leads you to, putting someone in that isn't ready, like Troy. Doesn't look anything like the guy that we saw late last year. Popped up. Mastroboni is there. Tag up attempt. And throw is not in time, and that scores a run. 6-3 Toronto. Brutal. Thanks a lot, Troy, you idiot. Next up is George Springer. Nice job by Varsho with that sac fly. First pitch, takes a strike looking on that slider. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, outside of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Troy Taylor to George Springer. Top of the 9th, now we're down 3 runs, 6-3. Well, we still have our at-bat, and obviously it's not looking good. If we only needed 2 runs, we probably would have like a 15 to 20% chance of getting it. But now needing 3 runs, you're probably looking at probably 5% chance or less. That's not looking too good. Plus, the way that Troy's pitching, it might end up being 7-3 or 8-3 by the time we get the fuck out of this inning. He is not good. I would have not brought him in, and that was a dumb decision by Dan Wilson. And Taylor gets Springer to fly out to center to Julio, but he gives up an extra run, and now the game is 6-3, and let's see who our guys are that have our last chance to come back. At least we have good guys coming up. Leading off, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. A guy that got our first hit when we were struggling, Big Ben Williamson. Batting second, 1 for 4. You can drop a bunt down, JP. Shortstop, JP Crawford. And batting third, 1 for 4 with an RBI, Jorge Polanco. So, if you can get a single here, and then a 3-run jack, the game is tied. So you got the right lineup up. And then Julio actually has been playing well. So if we can actually get to Julio, maybe he can get an RBI. He might not, do this, and go for a homer. But again, we're in the part of the lineup, if we can get to that point, things could get good. You go Ben, then you go JP, then you go Polo, and then if we can get to Julio and Cal, that could be, where we tie it up or we win, But again, it's looking pretty bleak, but, we pulled out crazy deficits before. This might be a little bit too much. I think being down by 2 would have been a lot better than 3, but, that's Dan Wilson for you, making some bad substitutions by bringing in Donovan Solano, pinch hitting, which was stupid, and then bringing in Troy Taylor when his ERA is fucking 12. He's not ready. And anybody but him, But that's and then obviously bases loaded with no outs and not cashing in the 8th really fucked us too, right? So, but we got like a 1 to 5% chance now, But again, at least it's not 0. Anything is possible, especially with the Mariners when you're a top 3 hitting team, even when things look shitty. Let's go, Big Ben. Yeah, so my guess was right. 1 to 5%, and it's 4.5. So like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes. And we're at 5 on the dono train, 95 to go. Help your boy out. First pitch, slider, high in the zone from Hoffman to Williamson, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with that slider, 1 ball and 1 strike from Hoffman to Williamson. Come on, Big Ben. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ben Williamson. Yeah, but we've also been in this situation before, where we're down 2, 3, 4 runs in the 8th and the 9th, and we've come back. So, but this might be the time where it finally fucks us. And Williamson strikes out swinging, 1 away. And hopefully if that situation comes up again, they'll handle it differently by not fucking swinging and not bringing in a shitty guy like Troy Taylor when he's not ready. Next up is J.P. Crawford. 1 for 4. Can he make it 2 for 5? But luckily, it's a 3-game set, and, we're going to have a chance tomorrow as well as on Sunday. So, first pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. One 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees with the slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hoffman to JP. Yeah, and we've won in many different ways. I mean, remember, we've won 9 straight series. So normally it's like lose the first game, win the next 2. But in the last couple series, we were able to, win 2 and then lose the last one. And then it went to the athletic series, where we had to try to, get it done there at the end in that last game. So, we've proven that we can win in multiple ways. Losing the first game and, winning the last 2, or winning the first 2 and losing the rubber match. But obviously not ideally the way that you wanted the game to go, for sure. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hoffman to JP. Pitch fouled off, high and away. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hoffman to JP. But again, Castile was garbage today. We had missed opportunities, but we did crawl back. It's not like we lost 6-0. We're not the number 1 strikeout team. We grind, but, every great team will hit a wall, when you fuck up too many times at the end. And, but we're still going to grind it until the very end. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. We're down by 3 runs here in the bottom of the 9th. I mean, I've seen crazier shit happen, but it definitely feels like we lost this game. But, never say never until it's over. Really depends on how shitty the bullpen is for the Blue Jays. But obviously not getting anything with bases loaded, no outs in the 8th was a killer. Like, we can afford to have that happen early in the game in the first 4 innings, but not in the fucking 8th when we're, having the comeback and the rally. Pitches outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. And, again, not bunting for like the last 5 to 10 games. You're doing a disservice to your team, by not bunting. Bunting fucking works. I don't understand why managers don't implement it more. Hoffman on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box, bottom of the 9th, 6-3 lead for the Blue Jays. They've dominated pretty much this entire game, and that is strike swinging, strike number 3, down goes J.P., and now we're down to our last out. And 2 away. Last batter probably for the game, unless we get some mojo magic here. DHing, 1 for 4, Jorge Polanco. Oh, JP is safe at first. The throw was off. We got lucky there. First pitch takes a strike looking with the slider. 0-1 count. Come on, Polo. 2-run jack right here. Because even if we lose the game, I'd rather lose 6-5 rather than 6-3. And that will give us momentum going into tomorrow. You just want to keep having positive plays no matter what. I can't believe JP actually got to first there. It shows you that's why it's so important to run hard no matter what. Fouled off on the second pitch. Behind the count now 0-2 to Jorge Polanco. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first. We're down by 3 runs. Polo in the box. JP on first. Take it easy, Matt. No PEDs and steroids, my guy. And Polo strikes out swinging, 2 away. Not the prototypical Jorge Polanco game that we're used to. But we're down to our possible last batter, a guy that's been good today, who has had a good May, 2 for 4 with a run. Could he get a 2-run homer here? So the way that we could come back is a 2-run homer here with JP at first, and then a solo dinger to get it to 6-6. I mean, that's what would have to happen. We'd have to have Julio homer, Trident's up, and then Cal the homer back to back. You know, and we have seen that happen before, but you know, it's been a minute. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first, JP. We're down 3 runs, and we got Julio and Cal up, and that's who you would want up. But can they come up in the biggest moment with homers and back-to-back at-bats? Most likely no, but I've seen crazier shit happen. Come on, Julio. Even if he homers and it's 6-5 and we lose 6-5, that'll give us momentum going into tomorrow. So let's keep it going. We need a Trident's up and a Trident's up. Let's go. Jeff Hoffman on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Blue Jays up by 3. We were down 5-0. So again, remember, we came back to make it 5-3, and then they brought in Troy Taylor that made it 6-3. But the bugaboo was having bases loaded with no outs, with their pitcher being wild as fuck. And then all of a sudden, all the Mariner players started swinging like idiots, and then we got nothing. If they just would have been patient, it would have been probably tied. I can almost put money on it. We would have gotten a minimum of 1 run, but maybe 2 or 3 in that 8th inning. But, you know, you live and you learn. PitchCom is not working for Hoffman there. First pitch, takes a strike swinging. What's new? 4-seam fastball for Julio, 98 miles an hour in the zone. 0-1 count. Come on, J-Rod. Come on, baby. Come on, Julio. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first, JP, 2 outs. And a 0-1 count to Julio Rodriguez. 0-1 pitch, fouled off with the slider, behind in the count now 0-2. Come on, J-Rod. Feel the power of the Trident. Come on, baby. And Cal, we need you too. Bottom of the 9th, runner at first, JP, 2 outs, 6-3 Blue Jay lead. We were down 5-0, got it to 5-3, and then all shit went to hell, and that is it. In play, and Julio grounds out into a fielder's choice into the shortstop. Crawford out at second. Final score, Toronto Blue Jays 6, Seattle Mariners 3. Tough way to lose, but again, you know, a couple things to learn. You know, when a pitcher is wild in the 8th, don't swing. And then in the 9th, don't bring in a guy fresh from AAA with an ERA of fucking 12 in Troy Taylor. He is not ready. But you got to give a shout out to the Blue Jays and their fan base. They kicked ass today. And hopefully the Mariners can rebound tomorrow as well as Sunday. We're going to be doing WWE Backlash tomorrow, which will be at 4 o'clock Pacific. And then once that event almost is about to the ending point, the Mariner game will start. So I'll end up doing coverage for both. And hopefully the Mariners can get a little payback tomorrow. And hopefully Backlash will end up being amazing, which I imagine it will be. And then we'll be back at it with Mariners on Sunday for the rubber match at 1 o'clock Pacific, as well as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to be doing the Mariners versus the Yankees. So shout out to all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared, and Trident's up. We'll get them tomorrow. And I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Have a great rest of your Friday night. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Go Mariners. Trident's up.